In today's video, I'm going to be talking about Zazu. Now, Zazu is the royal advisor of Simba's dad, Mufasa, and I'm guessing that he's also Simba's advisor as well. And he'll probably be Kiara's advisor once they become king and queen as well. But anyway, so even though Zazu was Mufasa's advisor, he was more than that. He was actually good friends with Mufasa. In fact, I think Mufasa and Zazu were best friends, I think. But anyway, I know that there's a story where the three hyenas that had chased Simba and Nala were picking on Zazu, and when Mufasa was a teenager, he saw this and he chased the hyenas away. And from what I remember from the book, when Zazu met Mufasa, he just wouldn't leave him alone. And then eventually, when Sarabi was in trouble, Zazu warned Mufasa that she was in trouble, and I think he even helped save her. And I forget how, but I do know that he helped Mufasa. He told Mufasa that Sarabi was in trouble. Now, so eventually Zazu became Mufasa's advisor, but it's also interesting because I know that there's this one story that says that Zazu's mother was actually, I believe she was the advisor of Mufasa's father, and if I remember right, he promised her that all of her descendants would be advisors to his, the next generation. So apparently Zazu, I guess, had the job all lined up, even without Mufasa saying anything. Or, again, it's been a while since I've read that book, but I think that that's probably truly how Zazu got his position. But I guess when Mufasa became king, I guess he could have changed his mind, but he clearly didn't. And also, he became a good friend of Mufasa, and when Simba was born, Zazu had the job of babysitting Simba, which, if you guys know The Lion King, that mostly ended in a disaster. Now, as for Zazu himself, Zazu is a very serious bird. He's very serious, and he knows a lot of stuff in the Pride Lands. In fact, it was revealed in the Lion Guard that Zazu knows everything inside out, upside down. He knows the Pride Lands from A to Z. He knows everything. He knows every single thing. He knows important information and non-important information. And there's even an episode in the Lion Guard where the hyenas capture him, forcing him to tell them some useful information. But since Zazu has all the information, important and not important, he tells them only the non-important stuff and makes out like it's important. So that was funny. And also, a little interesting fact about The Lion King, and even really Zazu, is that there's a deleted song in The Lion King where Zazu is giving a morning report, and in one of the DVDs I have of The Lion King, it actually has the morning report song in the movie, which I don't know why they did it like that. But yeah, the movie definitely is much better without the song in it. And also, something else that's interesting about the deleted song is that Zazu, or who does the singing voice for Zazu, is actually the guy that voiced Kowalski. And it's actually interesting because he didn't voice Zazu in The Lion King. He just did the singing voice for Zazu in that one part. Which, I don't know why they didn't have the guy who ever voiced Zazu in The Lion King to sing that part. I don't know, maybe he wasn't able to do it, so they got the guy that voiced Kowalski, or that would voice Kowalski since Madagascar wasn't out yet. So, yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting. And the guy that voiced Kowalski also voiced him in The Lion Guard, voiced Zazu in The Lion Guard. I'm like, wow. So yeah, that's a little interesting fact about Zazu. Now, as for his role in The Lion King, Zazu again is the advisor and I believe best friend of Simba's dad Mufasa. And in The Lion King, Zazu is actually, I think, the second character that had a speaking role. Because Scar was the first and Zazu was the second. And so Zazu came to warn Scar that Mufasa was coming and that he was upset that he didn't attend the celebration of his nephew's birth. And then Scar actually almost ate Zazu, and Mufasa thankfully saved his life. And it's actually interesting because after Scar walks away and, says that he had forgotten and eventually walks away, it's actually interesting because Zazu brings up that apparently Scar is one of those relatives. One of those relatives. Every time they walk in the room, everyone wants to walk out. Apparently Scar is one of those relatives, and Zazu even admits that he has two of those in his own family, which we don't know who they are, but it's actually funny because in The Lion King, the remake of The Lion King, Zazu said that he had a cousin who thought he was a woodpecker. But later on in the movie, he says that he was his brother, so I'm guessing that was a blooper, or maybe Zazu has a cousin and a brother who thought they were woodpeckers. So those relatives might have been the relatives he was referring to in the original, which that's just something I'm guessing. But anyway, so years pass and Simba grows, and Zazu, like I said before, has the job of babysitting him and even teaching him lessons, I guess, about, how to become king and that kind of thing. And then later on, Zazu comes up, and this is the part where he's giving the morning report, and again, this is where they cut out the song Morning Report. And if I remember right, it took them 10 years to make that scene to get it just right, and they ended up deleting it. Which, I have seen that, and it definitely is... The Lion King is definitely much better without the song, but that had to be really disappointing to the guy that voiced Kowalski and the other people that worked on it. It getting deleted after 10 years. Ooh, I bet they didn't like that. But anyway, so instead of the song Morning Report, Zazu's just talking, and that's the part where Simba pounces on Zazu. And it was even Mufasa's idea, so I guess even Mufasa can't help but, have a little fun with Zazu at times, like having his son pounce on him. Oh boy. So anyway, Zazu finds out that there are hyenas in the Pride Lands, and at the time hyenas were not allowed, but I think they are now if I remember right from the Lion Guard, but anyway. So Mufasa tells Zazu to take Simba home, so he does, and later on when Simba finds out about the elephant graveyard and goes to tell Nala about it, and Sarabi says that Zazu will have to go with them because he says that he's taking Nala to the watering hole, which that's actually not where he's taking her. So they have to get rid of Zazu, and in the song I Just Can't Wait to Be King, they're able to get rid of Zazu. But it's actually interesting because before that, Zazu mentions to Simba and Nala that they are betrothed and that it's been decided that they would get married one day. And that's actually the only time that kind of thing is ever mentioned. That's not mentioned ever again in The Lion King. And I'm guessing Simba did get rid of that rule because he said that he was going to when he became king. And I guess he did, just judging by never hearing anything about that ever again, because we never hear where he had anyone, that was supposed to marry Kiara or Kion, or at least Kiara. So, yeah, I'm guessing he did get rid of that rule, but anyway. So Zazu finally catches up with Simba and Nala, and then when the hyenas attack, he warns Mufasa about it, and Mufasa comes to save Simba and Nala. And then Mufasa has Zazu take Nala home. And then later on, when Scar's putting his plan into action, Zazu is with Mufasa, even though I believe he's supposed to be watching Simba, but yet again he is Mufasa's advisor, so I guess he he has actually a couple different roles. Simba's babysitter and Mufasa's advisor. So I guess he was talking with Mufasa about something when that happened, I'm guessing. But anyway, so Scar comes to get Mufasa to finish putting his plan into action, and Zazu comes with Mufasa to save Simba. And then when Mufasa goes to save Simba, Zazu is freaking out, and Scar knocks him out, and that's really all we see of Zazu until Scar reveals that Mufasa and Simba are dead, which of course Simba's not, but he doesn't know that. And then later on, once Simba's full grown, we see Zazu again, and Scar had locked Zazu in this rib cage. Literally, it's like these ribs, and it's a cage for Zazu, and he's forcing Zazu to sing for him. And Scar apparently doesn't. There's this one part where Scar doesn't like the song that Zazu is singing, and it's funny, in this play I saw of The Lion King, instead of that song that Zazu starts to sing in The Lion King, which is A Small World, I believe. I think that's what it is. At least that's how it starts out. But anyway, in the play, Zazu, who's playing Zazu, starts singing Let It Go. That would have been funny if they had included that in the live action version. That would have been funny, but Zazu actually wasn't trapped by Scar in that version. And then when the hyenas come saying that there's no food, Scar tells them to eat Zazu, which they don't, thankfully. But I'll tell you something that's actually interesting. I haven't heard too much about this, but I know that there was I think actually a couple of deleted scenes where, or at least one, where Zazu was actually secretly working for Scar. And I know that some people believe that he did, so there are some rumors about, and some people thinking that Zazu actually secretly worked for Scar, which I seriously don't think so. I mean, sure, even if he did secretly work for Scar, Scar could have turned his back on him and locked him in the cage, which I seriously doubt it, because he even tried to eat Zazu at the beginning of The Lion King, so I seriously doubt that. Plus, if Zazu was secretly working for Scar, I'm sure it would have been revealed by now. But yeah, I mean, even if he had, Scar's gone, Zira's gone. Yeah. But I seriously doubt that he did. But anyway, so Zazu's actually not seen that much in the original. I think he is seen more in the new version, which is good. But anyway, so the next time we see Zazu is when the fight breaks out after it's revealed that Scar had killed Mufasa and Simba's returned, and the hyenas start to attack Simba, and Simba, Nala, Sarabi, and the other lionesses, and even Timon and Pumbaa start to fight the hyenas, and Timon and Pumbaa even free Zazu. And then that's really it for Zazu. Zazu, I think, definitely had a much bigger role in the live-action Lion King. I think it's funny in the live-action version when Simba introduces Zazu to Timon and Pumbaa, and them to him, and it just it's so funny because Timon calls Zazu a puffin. And I thought that was funny. Now, there's really not much I can say about Zazu in The Lion King 2, because he's seen even less in that. I mean, he does mention about the outsiders in that one, but yeah, he doesn't have a big role at all. In fact, like I said, I think he's seen even less in The Lion King 2 than in the first one. Now, he is in a couple of the episodes in Timon and Pumbaa series, which I think that he's in only 2 or 3 episodes, I think. I I know he's not in very many at all, so yeah, I think it's either 2 or 3 episodes that he's in. But in The Lion Guard, I believe he's in more episodes in The Lion Guard. Yeah, I'm very sure that he is. And I just think that is so amazing that he's voiced by the guy that voiced Kowalski in The Lion Guard. I just think that is so cool. I think that is so cool. And it's actually funny because Kowalski actually reminds me of Zazu, like the tone of his voice and like some of the expressions he makes, and like when he acts all serious. It's like he reminds me of Zazu, and no wonder they're voiced by the same guy. At least in The Lion Guard they are. So yeah, I thought that was really funny. So it's like, no wonder Kowalski reminds me of Zazu. But anyway, now as for Zazu in the live action version, like I said, he is shown more in that one. At least I'm pretty sure that he is. And there's really nothing more I can say except he does say that he had a cousin who thought he was a woodpecker, but then later on he changes it to his brother. So, I don't know, maybe he had 2 relatives that thought they were woodpeckers. So, yeah, there's really nothing new I could say about Zazu in the live action version, other than I think he was shown more. But yeah. Oh, but something else that's really interesting is that Zazu has actually had a love interest, which we actually know nothing about her, like her name or her personality or really anything. But what we do know about her is that she's in a comic strip called A Girlfriend for Zazu, and if I'm not mistaken, she's the only love interest that Zazu has ever had. Ever. I mean, I think even, at least I know Timon has even had a couple love interests, but there's, I think only one of them has really got a good amount of information, and that's even, well, not that much. There's not even that much to begin with. But Zazu's girlfriend, he has even less information about her. We don't even know her name. So yeah, I really like to know more about her and what happened with her and Zazu, because Simba and Nala did try and help him to talk to her and all, and things didn't go well, but she eventually did talk to Zazu, but apparently nothing ever came of them, because she's never mentioned in anything else. So yeah, I really don't understand that. So it'd be interesting to find out a little bit more about her in time. That'd be interesting. Or even find out if he's had any other love interest, or see him maybe have another one in the future or something. That would be interesting. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video of Zazu, and just, Zazu is, a pretty interesting bird. He's a good bird. Now, I think some people actually don't like Zazu, but I think more so do like Zazu than those that don't. And he definitely, I think, does need to get more attention. He's, I think, one of these characters that needs to get more attention. Maybe not quite as much as Timon and Pumbaa has gotten, but he still deserves some. So yeah, that'd be great to see that in the future. So anyway, stay tuned for more. Bye.